Hello and welcome to the slightly delayed stream. My little 2-year-old decided that he wanted to get up as well, so I just had to go and make sure that he went back to bed. It's a bit too early for my little boy to be up at 4:15. It is now. So yeah, sorry I'm late, guys. Nice to see you, Michael, and hi, Rich. I'm pressing too many buttons here. I'm not quite organised this morning. Hey, and nice to see you too. What time is it there? You must be, nearly 11 o'clock, is it? 11 o'clock at night, something like that in Germany. Great to see you all here. Thank you very much for coming along. So, yeah, I've not got a huge amount planned. Usually for these live streams, to keep me sort of on track, I do tend to plan a little bit ahead and think about what I'm going to talk about. But I really planned this one out sort of 3 weeks ago, and I called it 50 videos in 50 days because I'm halfway to my target that I set myself at the beginning, which was 100 videos in 100 days, and so far I've done 63, so I'm quite pleased that I'm not going to be sitting here apologising for not having been halfway to my target yet. I'm up to, I don't really watch the stats, but as much as I don't care about them, but I do care about them because I want to know that things are progressing. So just for those who are interested, in 50 days I'm up to 134 subscribers and just past the 500 hours watched and 5,000 views. So that's where we are with that. Like I say, I'm not doing this to get to any particular level of subscribers or anything, but I do obviously look at them because I want to know that what I'm doing is helpful to people. 11:15 p.m. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. There we go. So yeah, I didn't really have a great deal to talk about today, but what I did think I'd do is if I just move this out of the way a little bit, then what I can do is, hey Sammy, nice to see you here too. Oh, and Eileen. Oh, thank you, Eileen. So what I thought I'd do is I would open it up to having a caller, because it's something that I've never actually done on a live stream. So I thought I'd just stick up this little thing down here. So if anybody goes to takeonetech.io/join, then we can see if we can bring in a guest onto the stream. Now, yeah, I suppose a few things that I could say about having got to my first 50 days is how different it is than I actually expected. So I did, one of my live streams was all about the sort of preparation that I took before getting ready to post my first video. So I probably spent about a few weekends over a month or so, maybe a few evenings here and there, just getting things ready, like the graphics, the overlays, all those sorts of things, just so that it was ready to go. And then then when I posted my first video, it was a live stream, so I hadn't done anything else before that. I just went live to nobody, so that was a bit reassuring, knowing that I could just mess it up and nobody was actually watching live. That video is still up, by the way. I didn't bother taking it down, but that was all about my different setup that I had and how I was doing it with the gear that I was using and so on. And then the very next day was my first office hours with Doc. So I'd kind of done an hour and then, a live stream, and then had my office hours after that. And I think the first live stream was, it's not exactly lonely was the word, but it was kind of just like speaking to nobody as such, not knowing who the audience was or anything like that. And the thing that's really changed since then is obviously being part of, Doc's office hours, of course, and then getting into the Ecamm Live community as well. It was, thank you very much. Hey, that's pretty good going, that is, isn't it? Excellent. Being part of the Ecamm Live community and Doc's community, obviously, specifically the office hours one, I've just learned so much. And you find that when we're doing these sorts of things, now I'm speaking to actual real people. So it's a huge difference from before. 1,000 before August. Excellent. Well, you're pretty close to that now. So, I think it's just really... really amazing to be a part of the community, and it really obviously helps with doing these sorts of things. No, I've got to just mention. So I've just mentioned that I'm at 5,000 views on my my channel. I've just got to mention Eileen recently hit 2 million views. I mean, that is just phenomenal. I watched, if you haven't watched it already, the video that Alicia Way did with Eileen was really, really amazing. I'll go back and leave a link when I can afterwards. I can't just find it now. It'll probably totally throw me off. But yeah, that was a really great video. That was, Eileen. I really, really enjoyed watching that. And yeah, I've got a little way to go. Not far. I've only got 1,995,000 to go. But yeah, that's really, really great to hit that 2 million mark. What did I want to talk about extra? I was going to talk about, yeah, the community really has been the big thing. I suppose I should also mention, I know you're all Ecamm Live users, but for anybody who happens to stumble across this on the replay in the month of July, Ecamm Live are doing a 30% discount offer on Ecamm Live, which is great. So anybody who is an Ecamm Live user, you can get your affiliate code, and then you can share it with other people, and then they can go and get a 30% discount. There was somebody in the Ecamm Live community the other day. I won't name names, but there was somebody complaining, saying, "Oh, this is typical Ecamm Live of just offering this thing to only new subscribers. What about us loyal subscribers? Where's our discount?" I mean, well, I don't want to swear on the channel, but I mean, what a person to say something like that is. Like, companies do this all the time, don't they? They have a special offer on something, and if you've bought it before the special offer, you don't go back to them and say, hey, give me a discount on the thing that I've already bought. But hey, there you go. Can't please everyone, can you? Fortunately, most people saw the sense and jumped in to have a few words to him in the community. But apart from the occasional moaning person, most of the people in the Ecamm Live community are so supportive and sharing, and it's really really a great thing to be a part of. So what else have I got planned for the channel? I spent the first 50 days. If you look back through my videos, and you may not want to do that, but I'll save you the bother. I've done probably, I would say, about 90% of my videos have been something related to Ecamm Live, and it wasn't my intention when I started out to do that. I was planning to do sort of software reviews, things like that, things that I'd use on the Mac to get things done. And there's I've got a whole long list of videos that I want to make that are sitting in my OmniFocus task manager, and yeah, I will get through to all of those, but I've just tended to veer towards making videos about either Ecamm Live or Stream Deck. So I just did a sort of series, a beginner's guide to Stream Deck yesterday, and then I've got some other, like a whole series of videos specifically about Stream Deck. And I guess it's just because the things that you love tend to take priority, and I've just been really, really loving Ecamm Live. So that's why those seem to have just gone to the top of the pile. But I will get around to some other Mac productivity apps, I promise. But if there's anything that anybody watching would like to see videos on, then do let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. I mean, some of the videos I've made have been because of people's suggestions, or people saying that something they like the video, but then there's something else that they want to know about, or something like that. So I'm always open to suggestions of videos to make as well, and I'll certainly add them to the list, or if they're already on the list, as is often the case, I will bump them up to the top. I might at some point do a little sort of poll in YouTube where you can sort of choose which video I should make next. So I've just got to figure out how to do that. I've never actually done that, come to think about it, so I wouldn't even know where to begin. That's something for me to research and then make a video about, maybe. Now, I will just quickly answer, how did I first learn about Ecamm Live, Eileen? Well, I'm a big believer in the universe being at work to help you out all of the time and delivering you the information and things that you need just at the right time. And I always say everything happens for a reason. Now, it's very easy to look back on things and sort of plot together the route that happened. You could never be where you are today without things happening in a certain order. And you can either look at that in a positive way or a negative way. And everything that's bad happens, you look back and say, oh, well, if I hadn't done that, then this. But I've always got a positive outlook, and so I always look for the good in everything. And there's always something that happened at a very timely moment for me for me to be doing what I'm doing and where I am at any given moment. And as I say, that's just my view. I often say that that's the universe at work when things go right. When things go wrong, I don't say that's the universe at work. I say, oh, well, that's a great learning experience, isn't it? Well, anyway, so that's a little bit of a digression. But I started off down the... Big Rich is joining. 1 second. Let me just see if I can do this. I will finish this story, I promise. So I started off down the OBS route. Guest is in the green room. Right, 1 second. I started off down the OBS route, and then I'll just add Rich in. If I do this, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. I can't multitask. 1 second. There we go. Let me try. See if that's going to work. See, this is why I wanted to test this out. And where better to test it out on a live stream? I'll tell you why it is. It's because I've got to be in. It always helps if you're going to add a guest in to be in a particular view where you can actually accept guests. Let me try this. Is this going to work? 1 second. That's why. I've got to assign him to guest 1. Hey, Rich.
There he is. There he is. He made it.
I got there in the end. Thank you for joining me and helping me out with this little trial.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'll just...
I didn't want you to sit there with your link up there and not have to.
Thank you.
Come in. So anyway.
I appreciate that. I'll just quickly finish Eileen's little question, which was, how did I first hear about Ecamm Live? And to cut a long story short, I had been using OBS, so I was making some course material for another course, which I'm making a very concerted effort not to post onto this channel. But anyway, I was going down the OBS route, and it was a bit of a nightmare, really, especially on my aged Mac. So and then one day I was watching Mac Break Weekly, as I do almost every week, and then there was Doc for the first time on it and raving about Ecamm Live, and so that's how I found out about Ecamm Live.
Awesome.
So, how's things going with you, Rich?
Awesome. And you just 50 days ago you started doing this, or you started before?
Yeah, no, 50 days. So I started my YouTube channel slightly earlier than that, but I didn't post anything. So I spent about a month getting all my overlays together, all of, figuring out Ecamm Live and all that sort of stuff.
Did you start the 50 days with OBS or start with Ecamm?
Oh, no. With Ecamm. To be honest, there wasn't going to be a YouTube channel without Ecamm Live. So OBS was for something else. And I just got that much sort of joy out of Ecamm Live. The whole point of the channel is for me to practice making like one take ad hoc videos. So I don't really do any preparation. I just sort of sit down and do a video about something.
So why were you doing streaming in the first place if it wasn't for a YouTube channel? Just for Zoom calls and stuff like that?
Yeah, and it was more for sort of recorded content. So like recording course material for a course. So yeah, that was the point. And it was a bit of a nightmare because previously I was just recording content and then editing it, but I was doing the recording and the editing, and I would screw over my future self by giving myself a terrible editing job to do. And I'd just retake the most basic of things.
Yeah, editing's the worst.
Yeah.
And Doc's got some good tips about recording. If you're just recording using Ecamm or using anything, but don't stop, because then you end up with a whole bunch of chunks. If you just keep the recording going.
Yeah.
And if you don't stop, meaning don't stop recording. Always keep the record button through a session.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
And then when you go to edit, you only have one file to work with.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, if I'm doing something where I know it's live to tape or disc or whatever, I don't sort of stop and try and self-edit. Whereas if I know that I'm recording it and I can edit it afterwards, like let's say, for example, module 1 of a course, I'll go, hello and welcome to module 1. Hello and welcome to hello. I'll like retake the most stupid, inane things over and over.
You got to get over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what he does is after he does something he likes, he'll do this to the camera.
Yeah.
And then he knows he can scrub through and find that one. And he knows that whatever that bit before that hand is the one he wants to keep.
Yeah,
and everything before that he can shit can without having to. Sorry, he can throw away.
Yeah,
without having to worry about what it was.
Yeah, well, I try and just avoid editing at all costs these days.
Right, and then also the long pauses. If you stop talking for a minute and so the audio line goes flat, and then you can also visually see there's no talking. That means there's a cut in the thing. So
yeah, I have a lot of those pauses because I try and sort of self-edit my ums and ers. So I tend to speak like that sometimes.
Well, no, I mean, but once you say a point and you get to a natural stopping place, just
Oh, got you. Yeah.
for a minute, and then you know that when you're looking at the audio line, without even having to play it, you know that that's where it stops just by looking at the visual thing. What are you using to edit? Final Cut?
I don't do any editing, so I literally just
Oh, you don't
record.
do. Well, you do some. You got to take it apart and cut it up and stuff, right?
No, all my videos. I call it take one tech, because I just literally sit down, do the video, and that's it. I don't actually edit anything.
2 weeks ago or a week ago, you did something where you said, "I'm going to record this live stream for 5 hours or whatever it was, and cut it up into pieces."
Got you. Yeah. So for that one, I just use iMovie. I just literally cut.
Oh, no kidding.
Cut out the chunks. Yeah.
I get it. So that's the take one. That's the take one thing. I understand.
Yeah, but the other thing about that one is, I thought that I was being quite smart doing that. I thought, I'll record a 4-hour thing and then I'll split it up into smaller chunks. I'm never going to do that again, because that gave me an editing job. and then the other thing was, when you sort of do stuff like that, that was literally like 4.5 hours. The full one that's on YouTube is 4.5 hours, and I literally just sat down for 4.5 hours and recorded it. But you sort of you do lots of like callbacks and things like that, not like majorly, right, but you're always referring to, and then before I showed you this. Well, then when you cut it up into smaller videos, it doesn't make sense. There was also a few of those videos that I thought were going to be quite good for their videos in their own right. I realized I'd done like part of it in demo mode, and so like showing, rather than the screen sharing and stuff like that. So I ended up re-recording some of them. So where I thought I was probably going to record a 4.5-hour video and get maybe 10 smaller videos out of it, I ended up probably using about maybe 4 that were from that, and then re-recording the other ones because I wasn't happy with them. So yeah, in general, they just sit down in one take. I might be interested to look at some like editing stuff for other projects, but for this, I just want to be able to come and sit down and get it done. And sometimes I upload them straight from Ecamm into YouTube, and then other times I go back and just add them in afterwards. The thing that I've got to really make a conscious effort to do is actually go back and put in things like chapter markers. But that involves me watching them back. And because I haven't edited it, I don't have the timestamps. So I've literally got to go and watch myself back on double speed to find out where to put those chapter markers.
That's not that bad. And it pays off, because that's searchable. Somebody can find that whatever you search for. They can find that piece of text and then go straight to it.
I might make that my job for this weekend, just actually go back and do that.
What does Thailand do on this weekend? Is there any kind of special day?
Not particularly, no. And it's just another day in Thailand. But there has been, unfortunately,
it's our Independence Day on Sunday here, and then I think it's also Canada Day this weekend, because Canada always has to do something when we do something. So
it is a special day for me on Independence Day, because Independence Day is the day that I actually got married, which is a bit ironic. So it's my 13th wedding anniversary tomorrow.
Oh, no kidding! Good for you.
Yeah.
Wait, tomorrow? You mean Sunday? You mean the 4th?
I mean the 4th. Sorry, yeah. So it's it's the 3rd here, 4 a.m.
Got it.
Yeah.
Understood. We'll work it out. It's no problem.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of editing, by the way,
go ahead.
How did you get on with your? I just saw before I came on here you'd tried that 4-up thing in Ecamm Live, where you can basically get.
I haven't figured it out. I haven't figured out how to get NDI in that last square. That's all.
Right.
That was the only problem I had. But I like the 4-up. I like that the way to do it, because then you can take that whole, like if you sit down and do one take video, and you can cut that up into different camera angles, which is what the goal is. Yeah.
So just for anyone who hasn't seen it, who was it on the group? You copied me into it, but I can't remember exactly who.
I think his name was Ken. He's a Japanese name, Obasaki. Right. I'm not sure of his last name, but he's Ken is his name. I don't know his last. I don't know how to say the last name.
So the thing was, he'd created a view in Ecamm Live, or a scene with that was in 4K with 4 1920 by 1080 views in it, and it meant you could record 4 different camera angles into one scene, and then you could once you'd recorded it, you could bring that into Final Cut or whatever, and just then switch between the different cropped images to give you a 4 view. I thought it was absolute genius.
Yeah, multicam. It's really cool. So if I set up a camera over there, an overhead camera over there, and then a demo screen, because I was going to do website reviews on it, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what the idea was.
Yeah. So with your live streams, do you do other videos that you release separately to that as well, or do you do is it for your you do it as a live stream
I'm
and a
supposed to,
podcast?
but we do our live stream every Thursday. That's what keeps me on track. But
Right,
and I
right.
have all these ideas for all these other videos that I want to do. I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, and I just never do it, man.
Uh-huh.
I got to sit down and do it. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
And how about the live stream that you do? How long have you been doing that one for now?
Since August or October of last year.
Uh-huh.
Every week, every Thursday.
And has that always been an Ecamm thing as well, or?
No, we started. It was just a regular podcast. We started October of 2019,
Right.
and then is my connection bad or what? It looks like I'm jerking. I can't tell.
It looks all right to me, actually. It's pretty smooth to me.
Okay.
I don't know if
I don't
anybody
know.
else
Maybe
is
it's just
noticing.
maybe it's just my preview that's looking at. Anyway, we started doing a podcast, a regular audio podcast, and then the lockdown happened, and we started trying to do the podcast over Zoom, and that wasn't very good, but we kept it going, and then we continued with the podcast until the summer 2020, and then I discovered Ecamm. I said, "Oh, we can do the podcast with this."
Yeah.
And that's when I did it. And you were talking about the price increase. They had some kind of thing going on when I finally bought it in October. It was like, oh, it's going to go up. Tomorrow it's all going to go up in price. So I bought it. And then a week later, they said, oh, here's a special, and it's cheaper than what you just bought it for. They played the same kind of games as they're doing now.
Right, right.
But I just sucked it up. They're the only game in town, so you can't really complain.
Yeah, and it's it's just bringing more people into the community, as far as I'm concerned. It's
Right. Yeah.
What you're gonna do. It's
and it's fine. It's their product. They can do what they want to. If they want to sell it for $5 to everybody from here on out, that's the way it goes.
Yeah,
I can't complain about it.
Uh-huh. Oh, Michael's saying that you look great. So obviously the stream's coming out okay. It looks fine from my side too. So yeah.
I don't know why it's delayed. Usually when I'm looking at the Chrome browser here.
Yeah.
And it's for some reason it just looks like it's.
I went on Doc's program last week, and it was just really sort of choppy and didn't look so good in the browser, but it looked all right on the stream afterwards, I think.
Yeah, it's like 10 or 15 seconds behind.
Oh wow,
weird. It's no problem. It's just. I mean, it's okay if you're okay with it. I'm okay with it. So cool.
And how did you find out about Ecamm then?
Oh, because I started doing that when I started getting into video last summer. Discovered Loria's live streaming pros.
Yes,
and she did a thing in August called Live Every Day in August, I guess. Lita.
Yeah.
So where you go on our Facebook group and you go live and you're just using your phone. And then I noticed a lot of guys were slicker than using their phone, and that's what they were using with Ecamm. So
right.
So I figured that out. So
she's been doing this for a long time. I remember her when she started. She was Callie Lewis. Do you remember doing that?
I remember that. She used to live in Dallas. Her and her husband at the time lived in a warehouse. Like you rent a warehouse for your stuff. They managed one of those kind of things that had 100 units, and she was doing gear reviews out of her apartment that she had there.
Yeah,
and she's from this town. She used to have events like at the mall at the Apple store here.
Oh, right.
Way back when. I mean,
that was a while ago that she was doing those.
Quite a while ago, yeah, yeah. And I've met her a couple of times at a couple of there was a WordPress kind of convention and something else. Some kind of local user group thing. So yeah, she's been around a long time.
And how did you find her stuff? I've never really watched her the stuff that she's doing at the moment so much. I get the impression it's got a different vibe to it than Doc's, and I think aimed at a different sort of user perhaps than
hers is more about getting out of your head and not being scared to do it in the first place, which is awesome, because a lot of people. I mean, you can tech yourself to death.
Yeah.
And she wants you to throw the tech to the side and just do it.
Yep.
My screen went black. Did I?
Yeah, it just went black for me as well. I was just
you know what? I wonder if my camera went on. I've got this cam link that's been. Give me a second to go around here.
No
turn
problem.
it off. Well, you know what? Can I turn? Let me go around.
Yeah, I get when she's I think that's what the sort of vibe that I picked up. It was more about, just sort of encouraging people to get out there and make actually start to do something. Whereas, that's when I saw Doc on Mac Break Weekly. I can't believe I didn't really know much about Doc before then, to be honest. But glad that I happened upon that particular episode of Mac Break and found out about Doc's group. I'm always amazed by his. Eileen says, "What did I do is rich." It wasn't me, I promise.
It'll come back. It's on. It's back on.
Yeah, it's back now. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know why he knows. You can mention the most casual thing, and he knows all about it.
I know.
He knows everything about it. It's unbelievable. I mean, something so random, like I can't even think of anything. Jumping out of a helicopter. Oh, I did that, or whatever. I mean, just
Awesome. I mean, it's like the tech stuff as well. Just even, I mean, I suppose that's this whole thing. But yeah, like you say, it's the random stuff as well. But somebody can mention anything about tech, and he's like, okay, here's the thing, and then he'll just go into like,
mention anything about karaoke, or anything about Japan, or anything about just anything. It's unbelievable. He needs to write a book quick because he's
several books.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's amazing, and then. He's got such a sort of casual style about him as well at the same time. And then you can just drop some little question in and boom, he's straight into it. It's, really cool.
He's fantastic. And I've watched Leo because Luria was on a show, on a TV station called Tech TV, I think was the channel.
Yeah.
And that's where I found Leo. So I've known about Leo forever too.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Doc on Leo until I already knew about Doc. And then I said, oh, Doc's going to go on that show? That's kind of weird. And he fit right in, and he's been there a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, Leo is another one who knows his stuff, but that's a really good show. Like all of Leo's shows, really. But I've been a bit of a Mac Break fan since he was in the Twit Cottage.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'm trying to think of what else. Macworlds. I used to go to those. There was one they used to have in Boston and San Francisco.
Right.
And I'm sure I've probably been to one like in the 90s where Doc was there. I'm sure.
Right.
Not that I ran into him. I didn't run with all the writers and stuff. I was just a user, but
yeah.
But those were fun.
I never got to go to a Mac World. They were always a little bit too far away from me. And to be honest, I only started using a Mac. When was it? It was Vista time. Windows Vista caused me to switch.
When was that? 2010?
It was 2006. So in fact, it was when I just moved. I moved to Thailand in 2006, and an iMac. I got an iMac within the first month of being here, something like that. So.
And why'd you move to Thailand?
I came here originally on a diving holiday, and then I was working sort of pretty much freelance from home, and so I realised I could probably do that just as easily here. And the food and the weather is better, so I moved over here, and that was 2006.
And you were single at the time?
Yeah. But
that's fun.
It's it's a wonderful place, and the wonderful people. I said to someone the other day, I can't remember exactly who it was I was talking to, but it may have been even Doc. But one thing that I noticed when I was in Thailand for 10 years before I went back to the UK for the flight at all. And then the first time I went back to the UK, I landed at Heathrow in London, and then had to drive up the motorway to go to visit my parents. And I was really struck by looking into all of the other cars, like as you do, just driving along, just looking around. Everybody looked miserable. Whereas in Thailand, they call it the land of smiles because everybody is smiling here. And it's like amazing what a difference it makes when you look around and you just see smiling faces. It sort of makes you want to smile.
It's funny. Yeah, I got a kick out of your thing. 555, people say 555.
Oh, yeah. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that. But they're really big into the social media here. I mean, they are everywhere. But there was a couple of years ago, I was doing some stuff about social media marketing, and there was something about Thailand having the biggest usage of social media in terms of like hours on Facebook per capita, number of users per capita, and all that sort of thing. So they're really quite. I think people have got. I don't know what view people have of Thailand, but I think a lot of people are thinking that. Perhaps things aren't quite as moved forward here as they have done in recent years. So it's whenever I tell people about my internet's like 100 meg up and down, and I'm right out in the sticks. I'm not in not in Bangkok. I'm sort of on the border between Thailand and Laos on the Mekong River, so 800 kilometers north. So it's a pretty sort of rural place that I am. It's not like a big city or anything.
Right.
And yet, it got really fast internet, and things have pretty progressed along here in the last few decades, I suppose. But
what's your speed? What do you have there?
100 up and down. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes it's a bit faster than that, but that's actually the advertised speed. And rather than
100 up is good. Yeah, 100 up is good. I only get 35 up here.
right. And mobile's pretty quite quick as well. So sometimes, like if I'm working, I'll just tether to my mobile as well, and that's pretty similar sort of speeds as well. So
cool.
There's not much lacking over here. So when I compare Thailand to the UK, I can't really think about what I'm not getting here that I could be getting in the UK. I don't ever look back and think, oh, I wish I had this and that. It's
no
it's
kidding.
good.
Huh.
Yeah.
You don't miss the UK at all?
Not really. Occasionally, I do miss the endless drizzle and bad weather. No, there's nothing. The only thing is obviously like family, but they're happy to come and visit here, and so my parents, well, before COVID, my parents would come sort of a couple of times a year and spend, a month here at a time. So, it's nothing that much that I'd like to go back for. I mean, I don't want to be a downer on the UK. There is lots of nice things about it. I do love the English countryside and stuff like that, but I just love the weather here and the scenery here as well. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Is it like the tropics? Is it like living in Hawaii?
Yeah. So where I am, I'm a bit further north than Bangkok. It is similar to that, but then we also have sort of December. We have a cold season, and it gets down to now. I'm gonna mess up the conversion here, but it's like 15 degrees centigrade. So what is that in Fahrenheit? I'm not quite sure.
Don't know.
Don't
know. But Keely would know, but I don't know.
It's pretty cool. In fact, let me just quickly find out.
It's like divided by 1.8 plus 32 or something weird like that.
I can never remember.
I don't know
never remember.
I don't either.
So that's 59. So sometimes it gets down to 59.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
Yeah, so it would do that in the nighttime, which means there's no aircon and there's nice sort of cool, crisp air. And then, the next day it's back up to 30, which is basically double that. I don't know if the doubling works. So then in the daytime, it might be back up to whatever that is, 86. Yeah, something like that. But generally, it's about that 80 all the time, or sometimes it goes up to 40.
Man, that's nice.
Whatever that
is tropical. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And stuff grows. I couldn't get over when I first moved here how everything grows so quickly. And in the UK, there's like the summer season, the 1 day of summer.
Oh, and Thailand has crazy fruit, right? They have those,
man,
all that weird stuff. I mean,
yeah, like rambutan, the little ones that look like I'm not quite sure what they look like, but yeah, there's lots of.
Well, there's a big spiky one that's I forget the name of it. That
durian.
When you cut it open, it stinks.
Durian.
Yeah.
I love durian. Everybody's got their own views on durian, and they're actually banned in like public places like hotels and stuff. So you'll see a little sign with a durian and a line through it because it's got this. It's not. I don't think it's a bad smell because if you like something, you associate the smell with it being a positive experience, I suppose. But people say that it smells like rotting flesh. I've never quite got that before, and I don't know what that says about me. But
I've heard that.
It's
I've
got
heard
a
that
real.
It smells.
Yeah. And it sort of lingers as well. So if you open it in a room, then it sort of somehow seems to linger and stay around. So yeah, hotels don't want to be smelling like rotting flesh, I suppose, which is fair enough.
Kidding. That's funny.
Who's that? Hello and welcome.
You got somebody else calling
in? No. It's just somebody put a chat up, but I'm not sure I know exactly who that is. But they're saying I'm a new subscriber and getting a lot out of Ecamm and Stream Deck videos. Oh, thank you very much. Welcome. The other fruits that they got here, they've got rambutan, which are like they're a bit like lychees, but they've got sort of so they're red, but then they've got little green hairy spikes on them. They look a little bit like the graphic of a coronavirus. They look a little bit like that.
Oh wow!
Now that I'm thinking about it, I've got to pull up a picture of this now.
That's funny.
So yeah, the fruit and vegetables going to the market, it's like such a colourful experience.
That's funny.
Let's see if I can get this up. Now, what's the best way to do this? I just stick this. There you go. That's a rambutan. So can you see that?
In a minute, I can't see it.
You've got the
I
delay.
can't see it live because it's not. Yeah, it's got a little bit of delay. I don't know why, but it does.
Well, there you go. I'll leave that little orangutan on the screen.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. It takes that long. That's weird looking. Yeah. Looks like a sea urchin.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. And they're about, they're, I don't know, about an inch across, something like that. And then they're kind of similar to a lychee. I think it's the same sort of family, but they're like a hairy lychee. So yeah, lots of interesting fruits. Have you ever been to Thailand or traveled?
No. The only remote thing I've done, I've been to the UK. I've been to, I guess that's it. Oh, and Bermuda and Mexico and the Caribbean, Canada. But I've never been. No, I've been to Thailand. I would love to go.
How did you find the UK? Where did you go in the UK?
We went over a weekend. It was stupid. We left on a Thursday and came back on a Sunday, and we'd never traveled anywhere that far. And we spent most of the time flying. So it was really ridiculous. We should have done it. We should have planned it out better. And then we just hung around London and went to the restaurants and museums and goofy stuff like that. This was in the I guess that was the late 90s too. There used to be a restaurant at Trafalgar Square called the Texas Embassy, right by the National Museum, I guess. And that's run by a guy that has restaurants here in Dallas. So we thought, oh, that's funny. And they had all the same stuff. And then after the trip, we said, this is stupid. We flew all the way across the ocean to eat the same stuff we eat at home. We should have never done it. So.
That's pretty cool.
But anyway, it was fun.
Did you get the one sunny day, or did you miss that and get the bad weather?
Oh, it was wet the whole time. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And it was unusual that all the bars. I mean, we like to go out and drink and stay out late, and all the bars closed at 11, and we were surprised about that. And at 11:15, you couldn't get a cab because everybody was getting cabs, and so we learned a lot. I guess is what I could say about the culture. Anyway, but it worked out.
Cool. So what are you working on at the moment, other than your podcast?
Oh, just regular projects. We sell promotional products, printed promotional stuff, and we've just been busy as heck this whole month. Just the world open for a year and a half. Everybody shut down and nobody wanted to buy anything, and now everybody's open and they want to buy stuff. They buy stuff to pass out or to sell. Yeah, and so we've been really scrambling, and the supply chains kind of screwed us up because nobody has any stock on a lot of stuff. Right. So, and everything's jammed up coming out of China, and everybody's overworked as far as labor goes. So it's oh no, it's a trying time. It's fun, but it's trying. So I'm looking forward to this weekend. This is a holiday weekend. I'm looking forward to taking a couple hours off and not messing with work for a while. So.
Yeah.
Because it's good. I mean, the business is great, so I'm excited about it. But it's just hard to. You can't fill the orders if you don't have the stuff.
Yeah. And what sort of things are there then that your promotional products? What are the sort of big ones or the main ones that you sell?
Product wise, we do a lot of beverage stuff like cups and can coolers and stuff like that. We do some events, so we do pop-up canopies and apparel for the people that are working the event, and what else? Like stuff for them to give away, bags and water bottles and stuff like that. So it just really different things. Like we're doing one thing. There's a big vodka company who tequila. Well, it's part of Stoli, but they're doing like a big launch this summer. So we send 5,000 cups every month to this one bar in Long Island. So I don't know, just there's different stuff like that. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun.
And with the podcast you do, how does that go out? Is that so you do that as a video onto YouTube, but then also it goes out as audio as well? Does it?
Exactly. Yeah, we do it on YouTube, and then I have a 3-minute or whatever intro countdown. Yeah. I take that file and I run it through Auphonic. That's another doc tip. And cool. Get the audio file fixed up, and then I take that into Premiere and I cut off the. What do? I cut off the countdown and I don't do a lot of audio editing as far as ums and uhs. I leave all that in.
Right.
I just take that countdown part out because it's 3 minutes of music that don't need to hear it. So We've gotten bad about, because we show websites and stuff on our video podcast. So we've gotten bad about ignoring the fact that there's an audio version of this. So we try to consciously describe what we're doing so people can see it, which is kind of, sometimes it's awkward, and sometimes we forget and we don't. And we say, oh, look how funny that is. And we don't think about after the fact that somebody's going to be listening to this. So it's something you got to kind of think of. But anyway, I take that and I upload it to SoundCloud, and it goes out to everywhere. It goes out to whatever 50 different places. Wherever this podcast go, they go all over the place. But that Auphonics a great trick. I mean, it sounds so much better after you run it through Auphonic. It's really cool.
And does that do something similar to Descript at all? Have you tried Descript or?
No, Auphonic just processes the audio and makes it better. Makes the audio of the recorded file better. And the audio is not bad going into YouTube, but this one just sounds a whole lot better going on to Spotify and all that stuff. Descript, I do use Descript. I take that same video file and that I use for the podcast, then I cut that up into chunks, like 6 or 8 different 30-second pieces. And make YouTube shorts or Instagram posts or Facebook posts. And I use Descript with captions on them, and that's what I use Descript for.
I've got to start doing some of that. I think I've got Descript, but I have used it on because I started doing a podcast as well, which was very imaginatively called My YouTube Journey. There was about 10. There's about 10 other people. It was because I think I just got quite overexcited by starting, and thought I'll just make a video, a podcast, which is all about like the process of setting up the channel and everything, rather than it being like a direct accompaniment to it. I thought, what shall I call it? I know, Bosh. That was it, did it? And then I didn't really put a great deal of thought into it and put it in there. And then when I did a search for it, it's like, oh yeah, there's a load of other unimaginative people just like me out there. But
that's okay. I mean, you can stand out. I mean, people will find it. They'll see this one, and you can put links to this one on there. So I mean, there's a way to go around that. You don't have to worry about just the name.
Yeah, I've just also got to get more into the habit of doing it. So with the videos, I've got into a real routine of making them. But the podcast, I haven't done one for 2 weeks now. But I'd intended to do it every week. But I wasn't doing it in Ecamm. But then somebody else was talking about just using the Ecamm Live with the separated audio preference on, so that it will export the audio as a separate track. So I might do it that way. I thought about doing it as a video and putting it on this channel, but then I thought it's more about the process of the channel rather than the stuff that I cover on the channel, if you see what I mean. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that.
You can still do it. I mean, you can put it up as shorts. You can put it up as, as Facebook posts or on your website or whatever. So, I mean, it's good to have video part of it. And then you could use the audio part. You could make audiograms. You know what those are?
No. Go on. I'm not sure about that.
Well, if you run it through Descript, like if you have a video and you put it through Descript and you go to export, one of the options is called an audiogram, which is basically a square that has text on it. That
I did see Doc talk about that.
It's like a sound wave file kind of thing that looks. I don't want to say wave file because it's not what that is, but it's a wavelength, a waveform.
Got you. Yeah.
It makes a visual thing out of an audio thing.
I remember Doc showing that in Office Hours, I think, now you mention it.
But you can also do video. I mean, that's what I do with mine. Descript, people rave about it, but it's clumsy, man. It's clumsy to me. I can't go. It's very hard to work with.
I found it has a little bit of a difficulty with my accent. I don't know why, but maybe I haven't used it long enough for it to learn it properly. But there's a few words that it gets wrong, because what I was going to do is take the text out. So I've been using it for trying to get rid of the ums and ers. I use it for that with the podcast. Maybe I'll just forget about that and just leave them in future. I think that's probably
I take that Descript text because I have to edit it all the time. It doesn't get it right. And it's, it changes. I mean, it's right for the most part. You got to pay attention to it. But anyway, I take that file, that text part of it, and I run it through a thing called Jarvis, which is an AI copy editor thing.
Yep.
And it makes a nice YouTube description for those, or a Facebook post or whatever description for those files. So it's
right
out of the copy this error. It just kind of rewords everything and makes it to where it's not verbatim what you just said. So
got you. Is that similar to Conversion AI, or is that something?
It's exactly it's the same thing. They changed the name from Conversion to Jarvis this week.
Right. Yeah.
Jarvis is what they call the back end engine or whatever. I don't know how that works, but yes, the conversion AI name, they call the editor itself Jarvis. And so they have just changed the name of the company to Jarvis, or the website or whatever. So it's,
Got you.
You might notice that. You go to look.
Right.
Do you use that too?
I don't use that one yet. No. Yeah, there's lots of things that I've got planned that I want to try and incorporate into the channel or do with it. So going back and putting in my chapter markers will be a start. But
if you, yeah, that's a good one too. If you do any writing at all, though, I mean, if you need to do any writing in bulk, man, that conversion thing is awesome.
Yeah, I'll perhaps give that a look. I'll just say hello and welcome to Blind Grilling, new subscriber. Thank you and welcome to the channel. Yeah, it's one of those things that I seem to find the time to do the recording, but then some of the back end stuff seems to slip by the wayside a little bit.
You do everything live though, right? You don't record it and then upload it, or do you?
I usually record them, so I don't do all of my videos aren't just live to YouTube, but they are they're just sort of live to tape if you like, and then I'll upload them because I say that I don't do any editing. Occasionally, like if my little boy runs into the room or something like that, then I'll just literally put a cut in. I often just do that with like QuickTime. So with QuickTime, you can add a clip to the end. So I'll just literally stop and then start it again, and then with that clip, just append it to the end of it and do things that way. But
that makes sense.
Generally try and avoid editing at all costs.
Yeah, kids will do that to you. They'll make your life distracting.
Have you got kids?
No, I don't have any kids.
Right. I've got 3. I've got a 9-year-old, a
awesome.
5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So 2 girls, Jasmine and Emily, and then my little boy Dale is 2.5. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, my daughter was my first subscriber, and then she went ordering people to subscribe. She phoned her granny and granddad, my parents, and said, "Did you know your son's a YouTuber?"
That's some funny stuff.
Yeah, she thinks it's hilarious. She's especially when she sees like my thumbnails and stuff like that. She says, "Oh, Daddy, you're so silly."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
funny.
they are pretty. I'm not really happy with my thumbnails. I don't know quite what I was thinking in doing them. Well, so the way I did that was, by the way, is when I first started getting everything ready, I literally just sat in front of the camera and took a load of pictures. Some of them stupid, some of them just neutral or whatever. And so I've got like I make all my thumbnails in Photoshop, which is probably not the best place to do it, but I've just got a load of pictures that are all just queued up with the alpha channel removed, and I can just drop whichever one in. But they were all taken at the start, so I've got like I say 50 stupid poses.
I've probably got a couple of 100 different pictures. I would go through sessions where I'd wear one color of a shirt and take a bunch of pictures, and then go change shirts and wear and take a bunch more pictures. So
yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
I always say that the guy who has the best thumbnails in the business is Tom Buck. I think they've got such an artistic flair to them, and I know that he spends quite a lot of time sort of crafting each one. So all the hand lettering that he does on his iPad and stuff like that, I think they just look amazing.
That dude is unbelievable. Every time I turn something on, he's on it. Yeah, I can't believe how good he is. He's fantastic.
Yeah. It's I watched a load of his stuff. I mentioned in one of my other videos about like the 5 channels that I watched basically in the run up to me starting this. Was Tom Buck was one, then obviously Doc, DSLR video shooter for all the video stuff with Caleb Pike, Podcastage. I don't know if you've watched that one. He does all just audio reviews and stuff like that. And then the other one was Alex Lindsay, who is if you've watched Mac Break, then you obviously know Alex Lindsay's the guy from Industrial Light and Magic, who big audio video guy. But he's been doing his office hours for the past year on YouTube as well, and that is every day for like 2 hours. He's got a load of audio video guys that are they're more into using like A10 minis and stuff like that, and they're all coming from a sort of slightly more full-time professional AV guys basically. And it's Alex Lindsay with it AY at the end. But yeah, that's like you can go back and watch like a year worth of every day for 2 hours, just these guys talking about basically audio video stuff. So I watched a load of those because although they're not
I like him, but I didn't realize that he had a thing like that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's absolutely It's mad. And what they do, the format of the show is anybody can go and join the Zoom call. So you go to YouTube, and then there's a link in there to go to Zoom, and then in that there's a link into, they've got this sort of back end chat thing called Mukana, which is something that Alex designed and built, obviously. And that's like a whole questions and answers thing where people can go, and so you can go and watch the call on Zoom as a sort of attendee, but then they have a panel of Zoom attendees, and anybody can apply to be on the panel. When I say apply, I just mean drop in there in the chat and say, hey, this is my skill set, and they can go in and be a part of the panel. And then the first hour is usually a Q&A. So people who have like come along, like you or I or anybody else, can just drop any questions in about technical stuff to do with audio, visual, or whatever it happens to be. And then like the panel answers all the questions. And then in the second hour, they usually have like a bit of a focus on one thing or another, or they have guests in to talk about what they're doing. But yeah, it's really, really great. And a year's worth of 2 hours a day. And
it's a lot. It's a lot to catch up on.
But his thing is he's trying to he's doing all this to build out this idea for himself and for everybody else of how to take a big drive is sort of taking education to the next level, because everybody's obviously doing a lot more stuff online. So it's how you can do this sort of audio video stuff online, and doing on-screen telestration and stuff like that. But then also just doing these live streamed events, because they're obviously all live streamed. And then the people that are controlling it are based like all around the world. So they've got the guy doing the video switching might be in Australia. They've got a sound guy who's in the Philippines, who's controlling like the whole stream from multiple different locations. And it's been like to watch it. I've been watching it for probably about 6 months now, but watching the evolution of it, they're getting more and more sort of advanced with how everything's all working together, and they're doing some really, really cool stuff with Zoom, and getting really, really high quality images out of everything. And
what time of day does that come on your time?
It will be, I always end up watching the replay. I think it's about 8 in the evening here. So it's a morning thing. So I think they say you have to be there at I'm not sure what time zone they're on, but for Alex, he says it starts at like 6 a.m. or something. You get there to join the sort of pre-show where you can do a sound check, and like if you want to join as a panelist or whatever. And then I think they actually start properly. I don't know if it's at 7 o'clock in the morning. Would that be sort of West Coast
that
time?
Makes sense. Yeah. It's about, well, what time is it there now? 5 or 4 or 6?
It's 5 a.m.
Yeah. So it's 5. It's exactly 12 hours from me. So I'm 5
right.
5 p.m. here. So.
So it's really good. Wealth of cool. Information.
Do you watch Tom's wife Heather's channel?
I've only recently started watching that. Yeah, so I've sort of found out about Heather more from like the community as well. I mean, obviously she's married to Tom, so I know they did.
She does every Friday. She does a thing called the YouTube Huddle Up, where you talk about your goals for the week, and she keeps you accountable and that kind of stuff. But anyway, today is her birthday, and they did some kind of. I caught the end of it. I didn't see it, so I got to go back and watch the replay. They did some kind of surprise thing for her, where everybody on the channel, which is 100 people or whatever, did something. So I got to go back. So go back and watch that one, the YouTube Huddle Up from today.
Yeah. I've caught a couple of those ones. I caught the end of one last week, I think. But it's usually just outside of my my time zone. I normally get up at 3 o'clock, and then I've got a bit of a morning routine, so I often don't check on what's live at that time. But
our chat it looks like our chat has died, but there's still 6 people watching according to this. I don't know if that's true.
I can still see the chat. So it
doesn't look like, it looks like Blind Grilling is the last guy that posted, and that was a little bit ago. But it doesn't matter. I'm just curious.
He posted and said new subscriber, and then Michael said welcome, and then he's just popped in as well to say thank you. Oh, howdy, Michael. So it does look like it might still be going. I'm not sure.
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll find out. So I'm not sure what's being covered in office hours tomorrow, but it'll be. I always find those so helpful. Like whatever anybody else's questions are, it's that thing of like the hive mind.
He does it. He does it 7 days a week, huh?
Oh, Alex. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the Zoom thing tomorrow night?
I was just talking about docs actually. Yeah, but it's confusing. So many people have got things.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do that, because it is a holiday weekend here.
Of course it is. Yeah, I was forgetting that. We'll find out.
I haven't. Yeah, I guess we'll know. I guess we'll figure it out soon. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because otherwise I might have been sitting here thinking, "What's going on?"
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, they're always so good. I find being a part of those. So if anybody isn't aware of them, I'll just mention docrock.com/ or no, buymeacoffee.com/docrock.
That's it. Yeah,
it's a great group of people in there, and it was really full last week, wasn't it? We had like 30 something on at one point.
It was nice. Yeah, it was a good long, and there's always fun stuff going on, and you learn a lot, so it's good.
Yeah. And how long have you been in that one for?
He started the whole LGL thing Thanksgiving of last year.
Oh, right.
That's when I discovered him and that group, and then they did a live every day, and they did a thing called Vlogmas where you go video every day in December.
Right.
So I did that. I made it to the 22nd, and then there's just too much stuff in the world going on around Christmas time, so I had to.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and so I did video every day, and was in that. I was on the group every night watching the replays, and they were doing like reviews and critiques. So that's kind of where I got involved in that group. So
right. Yeah, it's probably a tricky
that's where
time.
I met Alicio and DJ Strick and Brant and Doc and Diana and all those guys, all the India, all the heavy hitters. So.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky time to attempt to do something live every day, isn't it? Over the festive period.
Well, that's why I clarified. It's not live. It's called video every day. So you can queue them up. You could do them all summer and just record them and throw them in the bank. Yeah, you can do them whenever you want and just throw them up. So
yeah,
and I wasn't smart enough to do that, so I was behind from the get go. So
I always have this.
Figure out a way to do two. Figure out a way to do 2 or 3 at a time and kind of line them up, and then you can take a weekend off or something. That's probably the better way to do it.
Yeah, I always plan to do that. Like I have a few in the can, sort of thing that I can just put out. But then I always just seem to.
Well, you've got 13 in the can extra, so you can take 13 days off and still be on schedule.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, I always plan to have some that I could put out when I didn't get around to making one. You know what I mean? Have some that I haven't actually released that I could just put out. But like yesterday, I just did that. I did one all about Stream Deck, or I did a series of videos about Stream Deck. So I just sat down and did like 5 videos. But then I just put them all out. So yesterday,
at the same time, yeah, don't do that. You need to
save them. Like a couple of hours apart or something like that. But yeah, they just sort of trickled out through the day. But the part of the thing is as well, like some of these things. I know that there's like a couple of people who are kind of waiting for them. It's not like loads of people, waiting for them. But if somebody is waiting for a specific video or something, I just think I might as well just put it out because like I say, I'm not really all about the numbers as such. So I don't want to,
Sure.
People talk about like, oh, what's the optimum time to put them out? And I'm sure there is an optimum time, and I could probably do a little bit of research and find that. But I just think I've done it. I'm going to put it out.
Yeah, I don't know if everything's just a theory as far as that goes. I don't think anybody knows for sure. Nobody knows for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, yesterday I just did 5 and thought, well, there you go, have them.
That's funny. You did all 5 at once. That's awesome.
I just sort of did them sort of one after another, but I was going to do it all as one. But then I think that, when people see a video, because in the end it was probably about, 2.5 hours or something like that of video. So
yeah, nobody's going to watch a 2.5
Nobody wants to watch a 2.5 hour one. Yeah.
Nobody's going to sit through a 2-hour movie, but they'll binge watch a 13-hour TV show.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think 2.5 hours of me at any one time is probably a bit much for anybody, to be honest.
Probably so. Probably so. All right, mate. Well, I'm going to hang up.
Cool.
Hope you get somebody else on here.
I really appreciate you coming along and joining, because it's, as I say, it's the first time I brought someone in. So really appreciate you.
This is the first time we've had dialogue, actually, you and me. So that's good.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I'm always amused by your comments and things like that in the chats. Your sense of humor always tickles me. So,
well, prepare to be tickled some more. We'll tickle you some more later.
Cool. Thanks a lot for coming, Rich, and I'll catch you later.
You're a great guy. Thanks.
Cheers,
Thanks, Alex.
You too. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Later. Take care.
Bye. Well, there we go. My first guest on my live stream. If anybody else fancies hopping in, then do just follow that link. Yeah, Rich is a great guy. I always do like his sense of humor in the groups. So if you're watching on the replay, I know most of the people that are in the chat are actually aware of these groups, but I'll just mention it for anyone who isn't. The software that I'm using to make this live stream with is Ecamm Live, and for the whole month of July, they've got a 30% offer on Ecamm Live. So if you go to takeonetech.io/Ecamm, then you can go and get your free trial there. And then there's a 30% discount, which is brilliant. I highly recommend the software. But as well as the software itself, I was going to say Let's Get Live community, that's a separate one as well. But the Ecamm Live community on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Ecamm Live, is, I think they've got, how many subscribers now? How many members? They've got about, it's in the tens of thousands. I don't know if it's 50,000, something like that, is it? Or 15? I can't remember, one of the two. But yeah, it's just full of really great people who are all doing their own different things with Ecamm Live, be it lots of YouTubers on there, but there's lots of people using it for, professional stuff, or I know there's lots of church people use it to broadcast their churches, since lockdown has stopped people getting out to the church. So there's lots of great people on there, and it's really sort of supportive community as well. And I know that I'm always, every time I go on there, I learn something. That little trick that was on there the other day about using Ecamm Live in 4K and then having sort of a grid of your four different cameras that me and Rich were just talking about, I thought that was absolute genius, because it does mean that you can effectively have a 4-camera setup, and if you were to be doing editing afterwards, you can sort of switch between the different cameras. And I know a lot of people rave about the A10 minis, and I did look at getting one of those myself before I discovered Ecamm, to be honest, but now I just can't quite see the point for what I'm doing. But the A10 mini is a little camera switcher, so you can have up to 4 camera feeds, or there's a newer version now that you can have up to 8, I think. But it allows you to switch between the different cameras, and that's one thing with Ecamm Live is, I always thought that, well, it's recording, and oh, hello, it's still listening. That's good to hear. Thank you very much. Yeah, with Ecamm Live, it sort of records and goes to tape or whatever, and you've always only got the sort of active camera. But this little trick of having 4 of them in a sort of 4-up arrangement on the screen, and then taking the feed or the recording into something like Final Cut, and there you can crop the video, so you could have 4 different channels all running with a different one of the cameras cropped, and that would allow you to sort of review the thing afterwards and do a sort of camera switching. And somebody is joining. Let me have a look. 1 second. I shall just add you in. I've got to get to my correct scene. And 1 second. There we go. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I've just been a big fan of watching all your videos, and I saw you were live, so I was like, oh, let me try to join.
Thank you very much. And hi, is it Greg? Greg?
Yeah, just call me Greg. Yeah.
Greg, cool.
I literally, my Stream Deck arrived today. I was just watching your videos on cool. How to put them together.
Cool. I love my Stream Deck. I couldn't live without it.
I'm still trying to figure out, I have one button on it right now.
Right. Well, that's the best way. Start with
this. Turns my lights on and off. So.
Oh, cool. Where are you based? Where are you at the moment?
I'm based in Denver.
Oh, cool. Uh-huh.
Where are you based, actually?
I'm in Thailand.
Oh, you're in Thailand. Wow.
Yeah.
So what time is it now?
20 past 5 in the morning.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But I get up early, so it's no problem. I'm not...
I get up at 3 a.m. myself,
yeah,
so
same.
I'm used to that.
Yeah. I get up at 3, and so I can start these videos or the live stream at 4 o'clock. So I've got 3 young kids, and they get up a bit later, so it gives me this little time of peace and quiet before the silence is broken.
Wow, that's awesome.
So what sort of stuff do you do? Are you producing videos and things like that as well, or?
I'm actually building a live streaming platform. So
cool.
It's called Zealous, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I do a live stream once a week. I do a show on the creator economy on Wednesdays.
Right. Yeah. And so you're actually building a platform?
I built an actual platform. Yeah, it's kind of like a hybrid between StreamYard, Twitch, and Clubhouse.
Right.
So Yeah, so you can do live. Get anyone watching can come on stage, kind of like you're doing now.
Yeah.
But we can have up to 15 or 16 guests, I think, at the same time.
Oh, cool.
And it's monetizable, so you can actually charge subscriptions and upgrade. People can pay to upgrade to get higher in the tiers to get on stage.
Yeah. And how's that going? How far away from launch are you with that?
It's good, actually. We have the streaming product is sort of ready, and we've been testing it. We did our after show last week on it. And this week we have our multi-streaming going in, so we'll be able to go to Twitch and YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. And then next week is monetization. So actually, you can set up like tiers like Twitch, where you can be like subs, or members on joint members on a club on YouTube.
Right, cool.
But we only take 10%, not 30%.
Right.
And then you can also just privately stream to just those people if you want. So
yeah,
kind of focused on creators and influencers who have like audiences that they want to sort of like do more one-on-one engagement with.
Yeah. And what's it called again?
Zealous, ZEALOUS.app.
What I should really do is I should just put a little lower third.
Nice.
What is it?
ZEALOUS. .app. Here, I'll drop it in the chat for you.
There we go. That was easy.
I'm contemplating starting to use Ecamm as well. I have other friends that live and die by it, actually. I just haven't figured out. For example, when we do our stream, we live stream to like Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, but I also bring in Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces audio.
Right.
At the same time. Yeah. So kind of thinking about maybe screen sharing my Clubhouse or Twitter Space into the stream, like by way of Ecamm, right? So I could sort of embed like an iPhone alongside me with my co-host. Yeah. Yeah. So how has it been going? Like, I think you've been doing like a ridiculous amount of videos per day.
Yeah. The goal was, so I started my channel 50 days ago, or at least my first live stream was 50 days ago. And then I've been doing basically a live a week, but then also posting recorded videos as well. And so my goal was 100 videos in 100 days, and I'm 50 days in, and I've actually done 63 videos. So I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Yeah.
Does it take a long time to edit?
I don't do any editing. I just so the premise of the channel, Take One Tech, is because I was making a course before, and for an unrelated thing, and I would record the videos and then edit them, and I was kind of my own worst enemy, really, because I'd make the editing job very difficult. So when I discovered Ecamm Live and how you can just do this sort of live on the fly production sort of thing with the Stream Deck to switch between scenes and stuff like that, it just really sort of opened my eyes to, if I sit down in front of the camera, I can actually just do it, and I don't need to edit or retake anything. And so that was the premise of the channel, really. So the channel was born out of a desire to sort of practice this process of just being able to sit down, make a video, and then put it out. And so that's kind of my process. Is I get up at 3 a.m, have my little morning routine, and then at 4 o'clock rather, I actually go and just make a video and put it out. So every day is kind of like a video, or sometimes if they're a bit short, I make a couple. But I don't really do any editing, except if there has been something gone wrong, like my little kids running into the room or something like that, then I'll just chop it and slice it.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of live streaming, I think, for that reason, because I don't have the patience or time to edit.
Yeah, that's exactly me. It's like I don't look forward to it. I'll just put it off if I think I've got to do editing. So
yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so do you record it locally, or do you stream it actually straight into YouTube?
I do record. So the live streams obviously are live every week, but the other ones I do record it locally. But then in Ecamm Live, sometimes I'll just post it directly from there. But then other times I don't know why. Sometimes I do it one way and sometimes another. But I'll save it to the computer and then I'll just upload them. So
that makes that. Yeah, I know that. And do you have like to keep a ton of storage then that way?
So so far, I will have to, but at the moment, I'm only 50 days in. What I've been doing is they're saved on my Dropbox, and I actually just, as soon as I've uploaded them to YouTube, I just offload them off my hard drive. So, you can, with Dropbox, you can have it either local storage or only in the cloud. So I've just been doing that, really. But at some point, I'll have to sort something out.
I think Dropbox is the #1 drain on computer resources that there is.
Yeah, I always switch it off when I'm streaming.
You have
or
to,
recording.
right? Because it'll be trying to sync it as the file is writing. Yeah. Yeah, I know the game well. I've had the same problem I had an older laptop and I could not use my equipment with it.
Right.
Like the cam link was too heavy. For the USB port. And my saving grace about a year ago was I got the M1 Mac Mini. Everything runs fine through it now. Yeah. Like it's great.
They're amazing. I'm still holding out for the 16-inch MacBook. I've had it. So my computer is a 2013 MacBook Pro. And I'm
amazed that it actually runs all of these things.
Yeah. Well, I do shut down like Dropbox and anything that I don't need. But yeah, my processor at the moment is saying it's 78%. So that's 78% of the 4 cores. Yeah.
It's not too bad though. That's not too bad still, right? And do you run a big, because I know like I have a 4K screen and that was part of what definitely used to mess me up.
I do actually. I've got a 43-inch Philips monitor. So it's a 4K 43-inch. But sometimes what I do, I feel like this makes a difference, but sometimes I actually change the resolution from 4K to 1920 by 1080. But that's because a lot of the time I'm doing a demo where I'm going to share my entire screen. And if I was sharing a 4K screen on a
it gets way too small. Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll just downsize it to the 1920. And I don't know if that actually. I've got a feeling that improves the performance because it's not trying to drive, all those separate pixels.
I definitely could agree with that idea conceptually because I know, I even stopped keeping my laptop open so that it was only powering one display.
Got you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that actually I don't know, maybe it was a placebo effect, but it felt better.
Yeah. I think there's some things that I do that are placebo. I think, I've got everything. Turn this off, turn that off. And So how long have you had the Mac Mini for now?
I got it like when they came out. It's the lowest end version. I just wanted one I could get at the store without having to wait like weeks and weeks. So it's just 8 gigs. I did get I haven't actually seen it. I gave it to my partner already, my co-founder. We bought a refurbished MacBook Air and he loves it. He has he had a 2014 MacBook Pro, the 16-inch, and he was just like, he's like, this computer is insane. It has 16 gigs and 1 terabyte, and I don't think I'm getting it back. But yeah, apparently it's amazing. The MacBook Air as well. I am waiting to see if the M2s come out or
it's got to be. It's got to be soon.
September, usually September, I think, right? Or soonish.
Yeah.
Would be the time that we would imagine one coming. But it made a big difference. I had to chalk my cam link down, so I would output at a lower resolution for my camera.
Right.
Otherwise, it would get like all like slow and weepy.
Yeah.
And now with the M1 Mac though, Mac Mini, it's great. Like I'm using 4K here, and I've got my podcaster and everything else. I actually have a TV monitor as well behind me now.
Cool.
For when I stream. Yeah. I'm curious about this. Have you found a good solution for mounting your camera above your Is your camera above your monitor?
Yeah, I can actually show you this because I've got a bit of a thing for this. Let me just quickly. How can I do this easily?
Because this is the problem I have. I'm looking a little bit up.
Mine is literally almost sitting on top of my thing. I can actually just show you this if I add in another camera feed. 1 second. I've got this prepared as a scene, but I haven't got it prepared as a scene with a 2-up. So I shall just quickly add it in. So if I add this picture in at the bottom, and then if I switch on my mobile, then I'm going to change this to be my other camera. This one. Right. So hopefully
Oh, nice.
this should be right. So what I've got is I've actually got like a monitor stand. So this is like
yeah, nice.
that is like a floor standing monitor stand. So
Yours on the ground. Okay, got you.
so my monitor's not actually on the desk; it's on a monitor stand. So, but like a wheeled stand. So it means that sometimes when I'm doing some of my other core stuff, then I can actually turn the monitor around and wheel it and position it somewhere else with a different background. And then on the top, I've just sort of mounted I've got a little ball joint on the top there. You see that? But it's just mounted to the top of the monitor stand. Had this little sort of shelf thing that came with it. So that's basically what I've got, and that is a 10-year-old Canon EOS 60D. And then I've also got this little arm that has got a little top-down camera, which is just just one of those, a little Logitech camera. And then my mic is.
So I'll show you how I set mine up. So this is my that's the monitor back there. But similar, I have this little bar when I got my what is that thing called? This light over here, the Elgato light. The light.
Yeah.
So I have the stand right. That's my monitor. The edge of my monitor is right here, and then I've got it my Sony right above it. So when I'm here, I'm sort of looking. I think I just broke the camera. All right, let's go back to this. Did I lose you?
I can still hear you. You just I've just got
I lost all my cameras now.
Frozen
that's weird.
frame. That's all.
Try this. Oh, maybe I froze up. Oh, weird. My camera just went out. Interesting. Well, I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right. No problem.
You know, that's what you get when you do live demos, right?
I know, totally. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm always trying to find like some way to look better through it. Maybe like a teleprompter. I didn't get to watch your last video that just came out.
So that was telestration. That was kind of writing on the screen as opposed to
nice. With the iPad. I saw the title. I didn't get to watch it yet.
the teleprompter. I think that might be one of the next things I do because I do use this quite a lot for like Zoom calls and things like that. And I think it does make a difference if you've got the. I don't need a teleprompter for words, but having the screen in there to be able to look at the other people on the meeting and so on and have that sort of the eye contact.
That's what I always feel a little awkward with. Is because I'm turning. Sorry, I was just trying to fix that camera.
Cool.
Because I'm turning sometimes, because I'm looking a little bit up, so it's like I put my browser window as close to the top of my screen as possible, so I'm kind of looking in the right direction.
That's what I do.
And then sometimes I'll be using the secondary monitor, but I might just use that for looking at the chat and stuff like that instead.
Yeah.
Well, this is just goofy with me not having video, so I'm gonna. I appreciate you bringing me up though.
No problem. Well, thanks for coming on. It's nice to not be have somebody to chat to.
Oh, for sure. And I'd love to show you our app one day so you can.
Definitely.
Get your feedback and thoughts on how to make it better.
I'll definitely head over and have a look at that as well. So
I appreciate it. Yeah. Good to meet you.
You too.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks a lot. You too.
Right.
Have a great day. Bye.
You too.
Well, that was very nice. Nice, unexpected guest. So anybody else who wants to hop in, then please go for it. Let's make a little note of that. I'll drop that link into the chat as well because it'll be great to see how that develops. Well, it's almost coming. Whoops, Daisy. It's almost coming to 6 o'clock, so I've got about half an hour before my little boy wakes up. That's always my sort of deadline. Anytime between 5:30 and 5:30 is when he normally decides to get up. But that's been really great to speak to a couple of people because, as I say, this is the first time that I've actually had a sort of live guest on the stream. So one moment. What I was just about to pull up was. Let's go and have a little look at that site so we can show where it is. And there we go. It's coming up. So let me just quickly hop over to this other screen. There we go. Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for coming on, Greg, and sharing this, and we'll definitely keep our eye on this and check it out. Very good. So, yeah, I'll leave a link to that. In fact, I could probably just copy it from here. Just drop it into the chat as well. There we go. So, what have I got planned for coming up for the channel? Well, I've just done my sort of initial 5 Stream Deck videos, and then I've got a whole series of those that I'm going to do, which is sort of going to a slightly different level with it, and then I'll do some like a full-on advanced user guide. But then, oh, and speaking of which, yeah, thanks for breaking those up. Yeah, it would have been a bit much if I'd just done it all as one. I was going to do that originally as one video, and then yeah, realised that there was probably going to be a bit more to cram in than I could do in a single video. So yeah, the other ones that I'm going to do are sort of how I use this with some of the other automation stuff that I do on my Mac. So we've got things such as, oh, thanks, Greg, no problem. It's a pleasure. Anybody's always welcome to come and join in. Yeah, I'll do some about the sort of automation that I do. So there's things like Keyboard Maestro is a great application for the Mac that you can use to basically trigger macros to do all kinds of different things on your Mac with keystrokes. And because you can program like hotkeys to do all of these sort of macro actions, then you can also obviously just link your Stream Deck to them. So I'm going to do a whole video about exactly how I go about doing that. And then I'll also, with my Stream Deck, in fact, if I just come and quickly show you my screen 1 second, this one over here. So yeah, what I'm also going to do is for each of the sort of applications that I use, I'm going to run through like how I've got those set up for those particular applications. So this is for like Excel, Photoshop. By the way, one of the videos I did yesterday was about the Photoshop icons that there are. I'd made my own. So yeah, the Photoshop icons that you can get by going to the store and then have a look in the downloadable icons. They've got some for Photoshop and Premiere Pro and all those sorts of applications in there. So they look pretty good. Then this is SketchUp. So I've in a previous working role, I was an architect, so I still do a bit of that. So I do a lot of my 3D modeling in that. And then obviously my Keynote, Zoom, and then this is a trading platform. So at the moment I'm focused, my main thing that I spend my time doing is on developing algorithmic trading models. So this is the brokerage platform that we use for that. That is what I've got in store for those, and then I do intend to do more sort of videos that are related to some of the other apps and things that I use on my computer. So far for the videos that I've done, 63, I think majority of them have been either Ecamm Live or Stream Deck, but I will do some more about handy little menu bar apps and things like that we can use to get some better productivity out of our Macs. So that's probably what I'm going to be working on for the rest of the week. In terms of these live streams, when I first started, as I say, my first video was a live stream, and it was just all about the setup that I'd got and the gear that I was using. So I didn't really know the direction that the live streams were going to go into, but I think what I'll do is I'll probably try to start doing some more sort of things like this, bringing people onto the stream and then maybe just finding out how they're using these sort of tools to do what they're doing. So yeah, just bear that in mind, and I'll always leave this little link on. And now that I know how to do it, having tried it twice today, then I'll just make sure I can always add somebody into the stream. Now, before I finish, there was one thing right at the very beginning, in fact, before I even started, that Michael asked. So I do need to just answer that question. And the question was, how do you get your thumbnail to appear before you have even had the stream and it is saved to YouTube? So I will just go and show you that, because if I come over to my screen sharing again, if you do it in Ecamm Live, if you schedule your stream in Ecamm Live, then you can where you enter the details of the name and the description and so on, then you can there it will ask you if you want to upload a thumbnail, or if you come into your YouTube studio. So I'll come over to this for a moment. So here we are in my YouTube studio. These are my previous lives and the current one that I'm in as well. Let me just make this window a little bit bigger. There we go. So when you're creating a stream, if you were going to do it in YouTube Studio itself, then you would click on this create, and then we will click on go live, which is also where you schedule your lives. And so somewhere here, if I do schedule a stream, what it will do is we'll go to create new. And I don't know what the lit is to how far ahead you can schedule stuff, but I haven't got any scheduled at the moment. I need to think about what I'm going to do next week and the week after. But here you can see a sort of description, and then here is the place to upload a thumbnail. So that is where you just upload the thumbnail and then they'll just appear in YouTube. And I'm not sure how far in advance they start putting them up into people's sort of timelines or whatever you call it in YouTube. The word escapes me. But yeah, that's where you would add the thumbnail to a planned stream. But like I say, if you are doing it in Ecamm Live as well, because you can schedule stuff from there, then you can equally just do it from in Ecamm Live. Excellent. That's answered that question. So 30 days out for YouTube. So yeah, I've only ever done 3 weeks in advance. I actually scheduled this live stream 3 weeks ago, and I called it 50 videos in 50 days. So I was sort of worried that I might not hit that target and then end up looking a little bit foolish. But fortunately, I did manage to get a few more out than I'd originally planned. So that was good. So thanks for clarifying that, Greg. So as I say, I've not got a huge amount more unless anybody wants to jump on and chat, maybe even longer. Yeah, we'll see. No, that's interesting, by the way. I've got a quick question, Greg, about your platform. So that can stream to other platforms. How would this compare with Restream.io? Is this sort of similar to Restream then, where you can stream to multiple platforms? Is it a sort of similar thing to that, or is it the platform itself? Because I was under the impression it was a like an actual platform itself, as YouTube is, but can it then within that also stream to these other platforms? Just to make sure I fully understand that. To be honest, I've got a Restream account, but I've never actually used it. I've used it once. I used it once the first time I went live, because when I started doing this, I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll try and stream to other platforms. So I'd got like a Twitch account and a couple of others. And my very first live stream, I actually pressed the button to go live, and then it popped up with all these different things, because it opened up basically a browser window for every platform that I was trying to go to. And then it almost crashed my computer. So I just shut down the stream. I just went to YouTube. So that was my experience with Restream, because I wasn't actually expecting exactly what was going to happen. I should have probably watched a YouTube video on what to expect. I got you. Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'll definitely be checking this out, and yeah, look forward to seeing how that progresses. And yeah, really good. If anybody's got anything that they want to chat about, like Greg, or if you want to talk about how you have found using the software, then I think that's probably what I'll focus these live streams on going forward, because yeah, it gets a bit boring talking about myself. Got you, of course. Yeah, that's the killer feature. Yeah, it's more like sounds more like a sort of a hybrid of what Restream, because Restream, you're never actually streaming to that platform. You're just pushing it out to other places. So you seem like you've almost got the total package: the platform, the streaming to other platforms, and also the built-in monetization. Sounds like a winning formula, that does to me. So, yeah. Well, I think with that, I've run out of things to say. This was intended to be, yeah, just an update on where I am with my my live stream. With my progress, rather. I will do a bit of a bigger one and they'll also record. That is the total package. I'm going to have a good dig into this as soon as I've finished on this live stream, and as soon as I've got my my little boy up and about, then I shall definitely be having a big dig into this. Oh, thank you, James. Well, likewise, it's well, we're all newbies, you and me both, James. I'd love to hear how your stuff's going. I know I watched your other stream. Do let me know whenever your next one's going to be, and I'll definitely make an effort to join in that. It's to be honest with you, I should mention since we're talking about this. So when I started 50 days ago, all that time ago, I think one of the things that I hadn't anticipated is, I've mentioned it earlier, is how much of a bigger role the Ecamm Live community has played in this, and it's really made it something quite different than I was anticipating. You know, I had this idea of making these videos to obviously share the knowledge that I've got, and also to practice this process of doing these videos sort of live in one take. Well, this is obviously a live stream, but my other recorded videos, to just do them live in one take, to tape, as it were, and sort of get over the issues that I had when I had to do any editing. So that was kind of my motivation for starting the channel. But really, it's become something that, rather than being a sort of test bed for the process, it's something that I've been really enjoying. And it's from knowing that I've been helping people like you, James, and other people in the chat, like Michael and Greg and whoever else. It's all of these people that have commented and said, you know, thanks for the videos and so on. It really gives me a nice feeling to know that it's making some difference to some people. And incidentally, if ever there's anything in the videos, as I always say, that you found is unclear, or that could have been done better, or that something else that you want explaining further, then you can always reach out either in the comments or through my website, which I should probably mention is takeonetech.io. So if you haven't been there already, then takeonetech.io. In fact, I've just covered up my actual link there. There it is at the bottom. In fact, that's my Ecamm Live one. So my website is takeonetech.io, and there I've got a contact page, but then also I've got a little chat bot at the bottom. When I'm available, then that will be on. And so yeah, if you've got anything that you want, any questions answered, or anything that's unclear in my videos, or that you want me to cover, then I'm always open to suggestions, and we'll always try and make a video on them if it's something I know how to do. And if it's already on my list, then I'll always bump it up to the top of the list so that I can get that out there. So with that, I think it's almost time for me to go and get my little boy ready as he's about to wake up. It's been really nice to speak to you all, and to speak with you for those that joined. It's been, really nice, and I will definitely be making a habit of having people on the stream. Stream elements. Now that is something, you see, now this might start me on a little rabbit hole. Stream elements, yeah, that is something that I've been looking at. It's not something I've used myself, although I've been thinking about it as I've been, starting to do these streams when there are sort of slightly more people on them. Because obviously my first one was just to me, all on my own, 6 weeks ago, whenever it was. I will look into that. And in fact, it was Rich who was on the stream earlier, was talking about wanting to get things like a playlist for the music, or rather the current playing track of whatever music was playing, and having that brought in. And I've got a feeling he might have solved that with Stream Elements. I might be wrong, but I'll definitely look into it, Greg, and then I'll look into it, figure it out, and then make a video about it. That's what I normally do. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for coming and joining me on this Sunday morning. And thanks, Michael. I'm really looking forward to your first stream, by the way, Michael. Your first official stream, that is. And I look forward to seeing you there in Wrinkle City. That's Michael's words, by the way. That wasn't an insult. And oh, great, James! I finally have a better understanding of Loopback and the Audio Hijack. Yeah, Loopback and Audio Hijack. They're very good apps, but I think sometimes there's a lot talked about them in the Ecamm Live community about people using Loopback. So it's not always necessary. So hopefully you'll see when you watch maybe that video and the other one that whether actually you need it or not, because not everybody does need it, but. I'm glad it was useful, James, and again, I look forward to seeing your next stream as well. So, thank you very much all for coming along, whatever time it is where you are. It's 10 to 6 in the morning here, so thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you all again. And I will just put my little outro screen so that on the replay I can add some little links to some other videos. So for those watching on the replay, there'll be some other videos coming up next. And to everyone else, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.